Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about the new Battlefront 2 hotfix that came out. I made a video on it, I believe, last Wednesday, and I said I would do a follow-up video kind of seeing how it actually worked in-game, how much it affected these classes and heroes in-game. So this is that video, but before we get into that, I just want to talk about two things that aren't confirmed but have been kind of rumored around lately, and one of those being I guess you call him a buff for Yoda and Darth Maul. And right now, Yoda cannot block melee attacks. He only blocks using the Force. And this buff, I guess you want to call it, is attempting to take this away, and he would just block like any other hero with his lightsaber. And just my opinion on this, I think his kind of Force block and then like pushing it back out ability, so it kind of makes him unique. So I really don't think they should do this. And then the other part of it is Darth Maul. And Darth Maul, that's why he's balanced. The fact that he can't block is why he is balanced. He's fast as fuck, but he can't block. That he'd be like an Anakin if he could block. He'd be unstoppable. So I really think that would be a mistake to allow Darth Maul to block. I just want to get that kind of leak, rumor stuff out of the way. So let's just get straight into the actual patch notes. And the first thing we're going to talk about is what everyone wants to know about is Anakin. So my man Anakin. So basically, he came out OP as fuck. And they needed to nerf him. I will agree with that. He was super OP. But basically, they nerfed everything. They didn't just nerf one ability, or the two abilities that needed to be nerfed. They nerfed everything on Anakin. But regardless, Anakin is still great. Out of he's probably still the best light side hero. Luke might compete with him, and Obi-Wan might be kind of close now that they've dampened his abilities down. And basically, they've reduced the output on his heroic might, they've reduced the damage of his force pull, they've reduced the damage of his overhead strike. But regardless, I think Anakin's still fucking fantastic. I went on a 27, I think, kill streak with Anakin in Capital Supremacy after this nerf. So he's still great. He's still the #1 choice to go to. He's still the person everyone's competing to get. The only complaint I have after this nerf is his Hold Y ability, his resilience ability. They nerfed that as well. But I never had a problem with that ability kind of bugging or just not working. I don't know if I have any clips of it. I'll throw it on here if I do. But 3 different times after this nerf, I had a problem where the ability just didn't register. I used it used like the meter emptied, but it didn't affect anybody. I was just stuck in the animation, and it didn't choke anybody. So that never used to happen before the nerf. So hopefully, I don't know if that was just my game being weird, because all 3 of those times were in the same match. But it was just broken, and I hope if that is broken for everybody, they fix that shit really soon, because that's one of Anakin's strongest ability, and that needs to be working, because that's a life or death kind of ability. Next is the Commando Droid, was the next thing I was really looking forward to, the buff that I was looking forward to. This is the only thing I believe that was buffed on the whole list, was the Commando Droid. And they were just increasing the damage of the blaster. And I can say I didn't like the Commando Droid before, and now, I mean, it's slightly more viable to use the Commando Droid. You can kill him in 1 less shot than before, but it's still, against anything other than like the default classes, the Commando Droid is still weak. I still think the Commando Droid needs to be tweaked and needs to be messed with to the point where it shouldn't be ARC Trooper good. The ARC Trooper is too good, I'll acknowledge that, but it needs to be better. I'm spending my 2,000 points. I should be getting something, I should be better than the people not spending any points. Perhaps the only other big hotfix they announced in this update was that the ARC Troopers were getting a nerf in the terms of their blaster and their RB ion shot ability. And honestly, I don't see that big of a difference. I mean, you see the difference. You see, the nerf is exactly what it says the nerf is, but it doesn't bring down the class enough if they were trying to balance it and make them weaker. The difference, if you haven't watched the video of the patch notes, was this RB ability, this ion shot, used to one hit everyone except for the heavy. And now it does not one hit anybody if they have full health. It brings them down to like 10 health. And, you know, that isn't a sufficient enough nerf to, I think, lower the class at all. Not a lot of people even use that ability on regular classes anyways. I was using it as a sniper rifle when I used it. And then the blaster reduction, I feel like the damage is... Sometimes you feel like the damage is reduced, like, oh, if only I had gotten one more shot in. You know, I need one more shot. But then sometimes you feel like there's no change at all. So I don't really think, if they were trying to lower the ARC Trooper's overall ability, I think it's still very strong and still the best supporting role to go for, other than obviously the heroes, but the ARC Trooper is the best thing to aim for. Other than that though, they changed the colors supposedly of the ARC Trooper's scan pulse. They changed to a different shade of like this teal, I guess. I don't see a difference. Honestly, I think the commando droid's scan thermal vision is what needs to be changed. The red on red is fucking impossible to see people, so that didn't make a big difference for me. They said they were going to do something with Darth Maul's, like his lightsaber throw and just some of his moves actually connecting better. I did notice a small percentage boost in the connectivity of Darth Maul's moves, but nothing to where, you know, I can see, oh yeah, this was the main focus of this patch. Nothing where I know you throw the lightsaber and I know I'm gonna land it, I'm gonna kill this guy. It's still buggy, is my point. Another thing that they said they were gonna do, which is just completely false from my experience, is when you load into the capital ships, the hangars are still invisible. They said they were gonna fix that. They said they were going to reduce it. They didn't say they were going to fix it. And every time I've loaded into a hangar, it's been invisible until I spawn in. But the big thing they did fix was the spawning issue. While we're talking about spawning, there was a problem where you couldn't spawn in. It just wouldn't let you spawn. And that happened to me. That was very frustrating. It happened to me multiple times. 3 or 4 games in a row just trying to spawn. Couldn't play. But that is fixed. I've played multiple games, have not had a problem since the update. And so I believe that's everything they talked about in these patch notes, and I will continue to cover this game as I'm assuming they're going to continue to tweak Anakin as well as the other ARC Troopers and the Commando Droids. If any other new news for the game comes out, I'll be covering that too. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at Vision Spartan. I know it's backwards, but Spartan Vision was taken. That's usually where I post first. I'll post the article maybe sometimes, or I'll just be notifying that a new video is coming out. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. There's a lot of useful information that I post on there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next Battlefront update.